Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to this series on how to build threads from scratch. In today's episode, we're going to keep on adding more functionality to our post or our thread functionality. So in the last episode, we were able to update the post and by using our photo library and then pick a photo, choose it, upload it, and then post it as a photo. So we're just going to expand on that, but actually being able to use the native camera of the device. One thing to keep in mind is that when you're doing native functionality, especially with the camera, it's not going to work on Expo Go in the emulator, at least. One of the cool things about Expo is that they have an app called Expo Go. If you look in the App Store and download it, and as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi as your computer and your phone, they should sync up. And so you'll see at the bottom here, I do have a few new warnings messages, and that's because I just upgraded from Expo 51 to 52. And the reason for that is because Expo now forces you to get on the latest version if you want to use Expo Go. So that is one of the downsides. Recently, it's been pretty easy. It's since 50, going from 50 to 51 was pretty straightforward. 51 to 52 is straightforward. So as long as this continues, I think it's fine. So yeah, keep that in mind. And this latest version is on React Native 0.77, which is nice as well, the new architecture. So first thing we're going to do is actually get it running on our device. And then, so for this tutorial, I have it on the device as well. So you can see I have the emulator on this side, and then I have my actual device on this side. And so we'll see what that looks like. The reason why I have that once we install the Expo camera. So first thing we're going to do is actually add a new route. So what we want to be able to do is click this and have like another modal pop up. And we can just use it as a route and take over the whole screen. So first thing I'm going to do is go to app, create a new file, camera.tsx. Let's copy and paste this. Replace camera. Okay. Dealing in this because it doesn't currently exist. Exactly. And sorry, not tabs. We want to go to layout, and then we just want to have the same exact view. So no header, and we want it to do present in the modal. And then let's create a new folder in screens, camera. For consistency purposes, index.tsx. There you go. The warning goes away. And let's copy a very basic file. And then we're going to be able to route to it from the icon. So let's create a pressable, another pressable event. And then import Expo router to /camera. Okay, let's see. Yep, the whole screen. So let's then add Expo camera. So do keep in mind, Expo camera does work in Expo Go on the app, but there are a lot of React Native specific camera functionality that has a lot more functionality in it of like editing the photo and maybe adding tint or some type of emojis on top of it. Some of those, they don't work with Expo Go. So you have to do like an MPX pre-build. And one was because you would have to eject from Expo for certain functionality. But now with pre-build, it's kind of like a no-brainer question and answer is like it should definitely start with Expo because it gets you up and running pretty quickly. And if you ever need to do native functionality, you could just do pre-build instead while still using Expo. So without getting too much into that, Expo is the way to go. So we're going to do npx expo install Expo camera. And then we do have to add a plugin. So speaking of native functionality, this is what the plugins do. It's saying, okay, this Expo camera module, you need to add some specific native functionality. And that's what it's adding some permissions in like info plist for iOS. And then for Android, it is, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the file, but it adds native functionality to both devices. So we're going to add that in app.json. If you don't have app.json, then you have app.config.js, same thing. We don't need to record audio, and we don't need microphone permission for a photo. Neither device likes it, but especially Apple, so you might get rejected from the App Store if you do that. Because you have to be explicit and explain clearly to the user why you need permissions. It's like asking for location permissions and not ever actually using it, or using it without telling them why. Okay, so now we have this. Let's do npx expo start -c. Let's get this up and running again. And then while that's getting running, we're just going to copy and paste this example. So basic camera usage, that's very basic. Oh, doesn't even take a photo. It just shows you the view, but at least it's a good example to get started with. So we're going to copy and paste that. We're going to end up removing, honestly, a lot of this. Something's wrong with this. It keeps loading weirdly. But I'm just going to show you this in a second because we're going to revert to using the device itself. Because if we click on this and then click on the camera, it has a black screen. And it won't be immediately clear why until you go to the device and try to do the same thing. I feel like there's definitely a bug in the latest Expo version where it doesn't do full screen. Okay, camera. And now we can see it's the same functionality, but it works on the device, but it doesn't work on the emulator. So we're just going to throw this one in the back for right now and start using the device. And right now, all it does is show the camera. You can see I'm moving around. But what we want to do is change a few things. So we don't care about facing forward or back, so we're just going to do default to back. Let's import camera. This camera type. It refers to a type as being off. Back. Let's remove this for now. We don't need this functionality. Use stay camera type. If there's no permissions, we could just return no. I'll keep that there for now. And then also, like, on first load, since we're in development, it's not going to ask, but you'll want to request permissions if they didn't already give you permission. We could replace this with native wind. And then let's go down here. So we're going to get rid of some of this native style sheet. So styles.camera is just flex1. Class name won't work here. It won't give you an error, but it just won't work either. Yeah, see. So what we want to do is just use inline style right here. Since it's just flex1, just do that. And then the view in here, flex1, PG. I'll just keep that there for now. Flip camera. I'll justify end. And then items end. So we have that flip camera. What we want to do is actually, let's do some padding. Yeah. So what we want to actually do is replace this flip camera with an icon just to take a button, like a photo. So I just do like a circle from Lucid Icons. Let's make it a big circle. Yeah, that works. And then right now on click doesn't do anything. And what we want to do is actually take, let's remove these styles first. So much cleaner looking. What we want to do is take a photo of this. We want to take a photo of this and save it. In this example, it doesn't show you how to do that, which is interesting. This one does the screenshot. So what we want to do is create a reference to this camera. Let's call it camera ref, and then const camera ref. Let's import React. And on this camera reference, we have access to take a photo. So if a camera ref exists, we do camera ref.current.take photo async. And let's replace take photo. So now what we do is just press this button and we get see, similar to what we saw yesterday with the image library, we have the height, we have the URI and the width. It doesn't give us the type, which is interesting. I'm surprised it doesn't do that. But the main thing we need here is the URI. So we want to use like the same functionality of uploading this file to Supabase. So that's what I said yesterday or the other video. I wanted to abstract this into its own file because we are going to use it in other places. But I just kept it in this file for simplicity purposes that moment. So we're going to have to abstract it now. What we want is this photo, and we want to return it and update the post. And what I did in the past is using like params and like passing the ID back and forth. So you have to like pass the ID from, like I keep touching on it, pass the ID from this, because you could have 2 different threads, 3 different threads, and each one of them can have their own different photo. And then since this is a different route in Expo router, you have to pass it through as params. And remember, with Expo router, we can't just like pass in the whole object. And so I got it working before, but honestly, it was a little messy. So what I want to do this time is create another provider. So we have our auth provider that gives us a lot of functionality globally to the user and like create user, update user. We're going to do a similar thing with post because there's just so much functionality with this post. And we're only on the second item. We have access to the photo library. We have access to the camera. We're going to create a new Giphy tab and another route. We're going to use a location. That's another route. So instead of passing params back and forth, updating that items, it did get messy before. I want to create a provider instead. So we're just going to copy and paste this whole thing and create a new file called post provider.tsx. And I'm just going to remove everything. Post provider, use post. Yeah, that works. To remove all the context, post context, post context. Okay, so this is a super basic provider for our posts. And then, of course, we have to add it to layout. So we can just put it below post. So now, whether we're on the tab screen, post screen, the camera screen, we'll have access to this global post provider. So it just makes it easier to update the post as we go through, no matter what route we're on, if we're creating a different route, a sub route, whatever it may be. And so what we want to do is first go to this card. So we have this upload functionality, this add photo. We can move this functionality all to the provider. So let's copy and paste all of this. So let's go through this again. We have default post. We can import user auth. So remember, since if we put this post provider above user auth provider, we wouldn't have access to the user. So that's why you want to make sure you want to put it below it. So we have our default post, user.id, the current user. We could do update or upload posts. And we just return error. So I'm just trying to abstract some of this stuff and then update post. So what we're going to want to do is pass down this update post, update post. I don't know if we need posts just yet, because I think we're just going to do all the functionality update post, all the functionality in here. So let's move some things. Photo, set photo. So in here, and let's change this first actually. Technically, we should be able to comment that out and then see what errors we're hitting. Set post, default post. Oh, add to thread, okay. So we can create a new function that just does this. Add thread. Then we can pass that down. Pass it in context, remember. So we want to also pass in this. Add thread, doesn't take in anything. Upload post, doesn't take anything. Yep. And then we could create use post, import our post reverter. Post doesn't exist with type. We don't need it right now. So down here, place add thread. Okay, we do have to pass down post because I got a loop throw. So that makes sense. So post. Here, post. Probably gonna get a bunch of errors right now. I want to just make sure this works. Okay, so post, let's import it. We are gonna have to do something with this thread ID because this is a reply. So we'll have to like do something on load to pass in thread ID and update it. We could come back to that. Okay. I am already starting to like this, even though it's probably gonna break something. To take out some of the logic out of here, on press. So this should be upload posts. Add thread, user avatar, update post, item.id. And then add thread works. Okay. Thing is, if we do this again, now see before on cancel, since that state was local, now it stays the same. So we might want to add another functionality. So like on cancel, it doesn't only go router.back, but we want to not update post, maybe clear. We hit like const clear posts and then set post to default. You don't have to do that, but maybe it might be confusing if you come back and now there's already 3 things added. So now if we do it, cancel and go back, yeah. So in here, now we could do upload file, add photo. We can move this as well. It doesn't know exactly what post you're on. So you want to pass in ID string and then pass in ID, which would be the post ID, upload file. Honestly, this could stay. Maybe this still stay in this card. But we still need to pass in post ID. Post ID. And then we could export upload file. So upload file. Have it in here. pass it in. Yeah. So this is really the main reason why we're doing this. So we have access to this upload file function that we call on both the image library and the camera, no matter what page you're on. Import it from the post provider. This actually works because now we can set the photo locally, so it's fast, and then also upload it and update that post. So if no results.ss, then return. Okay, update post. So now we can actually pass this from here instead. And then on card, we don't need to pass it through because it's global now. Still want the post because we're looping through in this item. Okay, let's reload and then try this again to make sure the post functionality, the image library still works. So we do this, keep current selection. Yeah, you can see the post. Okay, so that works still. So always be refactoring. So next thing you want to do is use this from the camera. So now we have access to this upload file that we can import into this camera. So we do const upload file from the use post. Let's import it. And then we have the photo already. So before we do this, actually, what we didn't do yet. So just like in the image library, we want to store it locally as well. So we could do photo set photo, and we do the same thing. So we could show that photo before we go to the next thing. So we do like if photo, then return photo. Let's import it from React Native. And in here, we're going to do, let's return it. So we're going to do peach, full, W full, absolute. And then we're going to do absolute because we want to show like a checkbox button so that if we like it, we can use the photo. I want to do a check circle. Let's see if I guessed that right. So check circle, set photo. Okay, let's try this. Use the camera, click photo. So now it's checked, but that's good enough. So on this check, we already took the photo. We already set the photo URI. And honestly, we could like upload it as well. So upload file. And then this one doesn't have the type. So we have to like create the type. So we need image, photo dots, and let's go back to path. So in upload file, we need the ID, the URI. So let's start with those two. The ID of the post, we don't have. So what we need to do is post thread ID. And then when we come to camera, let's find /camera. Instead of just doing this, let's do camera params thread ID equals the post ID. So let's make sure we get that. Yeah, so you can see it down here. So we have the thread ID. So we're going to pass that in to upload file. we have the photo URI. We have image. So, and then we need the photo name. So we need the type and the name. So remember in the photo URI, we have the name, the path. This doesn't exist. But we have the photo URI, so we could do let name equals photo.uri.split.pop. So that's the file name. Okay. And then we can do file name split on the dot, and then this should be the extension is possibly undefined. So hit no photo return, and then if camera.current and thread ID. So, and then if no file name return. Okay. So now we got upload file, we got our thread ID, photo URI, image. So let's do this. And then if that's successful and we want to click this, it's going to be routed up back. Put the line. So as long as permissions are granted. If not, request permissions. If there's a photo that's local, then show the photo. If there's no photo, then show the camera view. Be able to take a photo, call that function, get the photo. If there's set the photo URI, and then get the file name from photo URI.split on slash. So we get the name of it. Let's keep this in the provider. So let's move it from there. We don't want to put it on the post because it's going to be different. This is just the local URI. So we do set photo and then pass it in. Let's clean this up. Okay. Then here we don't have photo anymore. So what we're going to do is set the photo here. So then we have access here as well. Okay. Finally, there we go. Okay. And then if we go here, pick an image from the image library, it would actually override it. Yeah, look, see how fast that is too. It's so nice. And then if we were to just do, okay, that's a bug. That's a fun one. So let's do this on press. So on press. We want to set photo to null on both that one and his add photo in here. Let's try this. So now, yeah, there we go. So now it clears out the photo because you're going to upload another one. Boom. Yo. And then I got to press post. So let's see if that post button, did I fix that? On press post, upload post, flow post, post provider. If no error, there's a post. Hey, there we go. Okay. So now we've changed a lot of things. So let's recap it real quick because this is already a long video. So we moved all of our functionality because we're going to use different pages. Right now on image library, it's just a child post. So this is a new route. Oh, we want to be able to actually set the photo too. So on upload, clear post, set photo to null. There we go. Okay, so what we did is take all the functionality that we have, it consolidates it so it all has access to upload file and then uploading posts and updating posts. And so it's just easier to consolidate and also easier to manage state across multiple files, because right now we only have one extra route. So this route right here, this is a different route, but we're also going to have a different route with the Giphy library. So the next one, the location one, hashtag will be the same one, but because this is just a pop-up, so that's child one, but this is a different route. So you don't want to have to pass params back and forth to itself. It does get a little messy. And then this way we can consolidate all the views to themselves and then import the functionality we want. So we need upload file, set photo and photo to both this one to be able to show us taking a photo. And then we also need it for the library as well. So we can use the same one. So we can override each other. So that makes it a lot simpler. We're going to keep adding to this host provider. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to create a new route for the Giphy library and attach to that. So hope you join me. Like and subscribe and click that notification bell so that every single time I put up a new post, we get to finish this Threads app together and get it launched into the app stores. I hope you join me for the next one, and peace.